Hey guys, welcome back to Butterpine Porch. Today we have a really simple, quick little DIY mini trellis project. I think this would be a great idea for kids that might be into gardening, or you if you just are like me and need a little quick fix. Basically, my snap peas, I have 5 little plants, and they're not big enough where I have them in their final pots yet, but they're big enough where they're falling over and wanting to climb something. So I have this pack of kitchen skewers from my kitchen. It's just like a pack of 100 that I already had, so I figured those would work great. My hot glue gun, and then I just have a piece of parchment paper down on the table just so that the glue doesn't stick to my dining table. Here, this is basically just like a copy-paste process the whole way up the little trellis. It's super easy. Basically, I'm just coming up with my plan. I have it narrower on the bottom, and then it fans out toward the top just to give more places to climb around. And yeah, it's really simple. So I have the hot glue gun here as well. And when I start using that, you'll notice, just like I noticed, that the last time I used my hot glue gun was for my wedding invitations, which we got like one of the cute little wax seals for the outside of the envelopes. And so the glue gun was loaded with like a copper tone, metallic, kind like glue stick, that was supposed to look like, the wax on an envelope. And so that's a fun little random bit for this. This doesn't end up like the cutest looking little trellis you've ever seen in your life, and I'm totally fine with that. The garden's for me, and the snap peas aren't gonna care. So it is what it is. It winds up being clear glue by the end. I will say one thing I did notice, you totally probably could use like the metallic glue stick for the whole thing if you just literally want it to sparkle. I don't see why that would be an issue. But I will say that the clear glue, that's actually meant to be more glue, seemed to stick a little better than the metallic stuff that's just supposed to look like wax. I kind of fumbled the first one there. But we make do. It all comes together in the end. That's all that really matters. So yeah, I put some glue between the wood, and then I go back over the top of each joint with a little extra. Nothing crazy there. Honestly, the thing that took the longest with this project was just the dry time, and even that didn't take long because none of these are like huge globs of glue or anything. Even the bits that do look like larger globs, like nothing is even the size of a quarter as far as the glue goes. So everything dried really quick. That was just the longest part of this. Now, I didn't look this up until after I'd already made the trellis, which is kind of unfortunate on my end. I could have gone about this a little better. I probably should have put them in their final pots when I up-potted them most recently, because untangling them from this trellis that they now have when I go to up-pot them to their final pots is gonna be pretty tedious and probably kind of annoying. But yeah, we're just gonna have to roll with the punches. And these only get 2 feet tall from what I saw online. It's a sugar and snap pea. And realistically, I could have made them full-size trellises with a little more time. Like, I easily could have made this 2 feet tall. It's almost a foot tall as is. Like, it would not have been that crazy. So I think with a little more planning and just knowledge from the get-go, I definitely could have made full-size trellises for them work. But then I also would have run into the issue of the glue potentially melting as it gets later in the season. It gets warmer outside. So, I don't know. We'll have to see what happens, and we'll try something else next year. Who knows? And here, so one of the skewers wouldn't fit all the way across the top because I have it kind of fanning out like that, you see? And so basically I just cut the pointy ends off of 2 different skewers and glue them on separately. And we're already probably like 75% of the way done with this project, honestly. I just put on this last bit, and in between clips, basically, I'm just fanning the whole thing with my hand and blowing on it, trying to help the glue set a little bit. Another glue stick. And here I am just going back over everything. Pulling off some glue strings, showing off my cute new cup. I will put a link to the Etsy store down below that I got that from. That was kind of one of my self-birthday gifts this year. It's really cute. The cup is actually glass, which I love, and then the lid is wooden, and it's got those little daisies just like sealed onto it, probably with like Mod Podge or something really simple, but I thought it was cute. And I wanted a new cup because it's getting warmer outside, and I like a little iced bevy. But yeah, so here I just flip it over and then go around the back side of the wood. Just waiting for everything to dry for just a moment. That one has a blossom already. That plant toward the back has that little white blossom. That's so exciting. They've only been planted for about, they've been in the ground for 5 weeks. They were planted March 11th, and I shot this video on April 17th. So for them to have a blossom already is pretty exciting. I can't wait for fresh little snap peas out of the garden on the balcony. Just putting this in carefully, hoping it doesn't crumble on me. Spoiler, it doesn't. And it's still up standing 2 days later, and it's been out in the rain and some wind and all that jazz, so it's holding up so far. I'm just more concerned with when the heat starts kicking up a little. And then basically, yeah, I'm just finagling here, trying to get all the plants to grab onto it with their little tendrils. Some of them are a little small or just weren't sitting right, but as they get a little bit longer, I'll be able to prop them up in it, and then they will understand the assignment. Look at them, so cute. But yeah, this was a super simple project. You could totally do this with kids. You could do this yourself if you have a tiny little garden. Or if you just had one snap pea plant, maybe went like a rung or 2 higher, this would probably work great, honestly. Here it is, just sat out on my back porch on a nice little breezy spring afternoon. It was really simple. I totally recommend. If you just have one plant, like I was saying, this could probably last that plant its whole growing season. Like, it's so simple. I'll keep an eye on it when it starts getting hot outside, if I'm still using it by then. I will let you guys know if the glue melts. Pray for me that it doesn't. But yeah, thank you so much for watching and tuning in for this quick little video. I hope it was fun. I hope maybe it gave you a little idea if you have something small that wants to climb. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Catch you next time.